Look at how the California wildfires started, beginning from the Palisades region, extending through the Hollywood Hills, including the Sunset area, and progressing to the Eaton, Hearst, and Lydia fires. More than 7,500 dedicated personnel are actively involved in fighting the flames. The operation has deployed 1,162 fire engines, offering ground support to suppress and control the spread of the fire. Additionally, 31 helicopters are conducting aerial water drops supported by 6 large water tanker aircraft to tackle the more inaccessible and high-intensity hotspots.
All right, what's going on today? What's going on this Saturday, January 11th? I'm Rich. I'm your host. And with that, I will be playing The
views, opinions, and representations expressed are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The show is found on
Manwich, the regular original
can, but do not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only.
Ta-da!
And are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. Good evening, or morning, depending on your time zone. From the Pacific to the Atlantic to you worldwide. Get yourself a cup of Java and find a comfy, easy chair. And get ready for
Manwich!
on Talk Radio After Dark. And now,
It's Rich.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! All right, what's going on again? Yeah, that's my disclaimer. I don't want to get sued. I don't want anybody to be complaining. This is for entertainment purposes only. Now, today's video is going to be the California fires. I figured I'd go into news one of two reasons. One of two reasons. One is I can't always just do, how can I say this? I can't always do, let's say, mysteries, right? I got to mix it up. And two is the algorithm. So I got to do what I do until the views bump up. When the views bump up, I can play what I want. I can do what I want. So with that said, we're going to do California fires today. Let's get into it.
Closer look at how the California wildfires started, beginning from the Palisades region, extending through the Hollywood Hills, including the Sunset area, and progressing to the Eaton, Hearst, and Lydia fires. More than 7,500 dedicated personnel are actively involved in fighting the flames. The operation has deployed 1,162 fire engines, offering ground support to suppress and control the spread of the fire. Additionally, 31 helicopters are conducting aerial water drops supported by 6 large water tanker aircraft to tackle the more inaccessible and high-intensity hotspots. But most importantly, we'll look at how this all started all in the videos ahead.
Yes, please do so. I want to know why this is going on.
Let's take a closer look at the factors contributing to the fires. To be honest, even experts have been taken aback by how rapidly these extremely dangerous fires have spread.
People are starting
By Tuesday night, the 7th of January, 3 massive blazes had already erupted in northern Los Angeles, with more following on Wednesday. Let's examine the largest of these fires. The Palisades fire, as mentioned, began at 10:30 a.m. local time on Tuesday. This image, captured just 15 minutes after the fire was first reported, already shows its intensity from the sky. The fire quickly ballooned throughout the afternoon, raging between the beach towns of Santa Monica and Malibu. By midnight, it had consumed nearly 3,000 acres, destroying numerous buildings and homes, so many, in fact, that officials are still struggling to determine the full extent of the damage. The cause of the fires has not yet been identified. However, what we do know is that they have been supercharged by fierce, dry winds blowing in from the northeast. These winds, known as the Santa Ana winds, accelerate as they hit the mountainous terrain around Los Angeles. This can be seen in the striking bands of pink and purple on weather maps, indicating the areas affected by these devil winds. The Santa Ana winds also drastically reduce humidity levels, drying out the land and making it more flammable. With wind speeds reaching up to 60 miles per hour, these conditions are so extreme that firefighting planes have been unable to take off. Fire chiefs describe the combination of low humidity, dry soil, and strong winds as creating some of the worst fire conditions imaginable. Southern California recently experienced an exceptionally hot summer, with almost no rainfall during what should now be the wet season. This map illustrates the rainfall of the past 60 days compared to the average for this period. The brown areas around Los Angeles highlight regions that have received virtually no rain, leaving the land parched and highly flammable. This combination of factors has created a dire situation for thousands of Los Angeles residents, many of whom have been forced to flee their homes. These homes, often belonging to the rich and famous, have been reduced to ashes in mere hours. This is the grim reality faced by Californians as they grapple with an increasingly severe and prolonged wildfire season. 7 fires are currently being tackled in California. The Palisades fire was first reported at 10:30 a.m. 1830 Greenwich Mean Time on Tuesday, January 7th. Within just 20 minutes, it grew from a 20-acre blaze to more than 200 acres. By Wednesday night, the fire had expanded to approximately 16,000 acres. At least 30,000 people have been ordered to evacuate their homes. The Eaton fire rapidly grew to cover 1,000 acres within the first 6 hours after breaking out. It started in Altadena in the hills above Pasadena at around 6:30 p.m. local time on Tuesday. By Wednesday night, the fire had spread to over 10,000 acres and 5 fatalities had been reported. The Hearst fire began burning just north of San Fernando at around 10:10 p.m. local time on Tuesday. It quickly grew to 850 acres, according to local officials, and has triggered evacuation orders in neighboring Santa Clarita. The Woodley fire broke out in Woodley Park at approximately 6:15 a.m. local time on Wednesday. According to the Los Angeles Fire Department, it has now been fully contained. The Olivas fire erupted in Ventura County, northwest of Los Angeles, and burned across about 11 acres. It has also been fully contained. The Lilia fire ignited around 2:00 p.m. on Wednesday in the mountainous Acton area north of Los Angeles. It grew to cover nearly 350 acres, and as of 9:00 p.m., had been 40% contained. The Sunset fire broke out at approximately 6:00 p.m. in the Hollywood Hills, a residential neighborhood overlooking the historic Hollywood area. It currently spans about 50 acres and is 0% contained. A mandatory evacuation order remains in place. But there were also significant funding issues that may have hampered the firefighting efforts. A potentially leaked letter from L.A. Fire Chief Kristen Crowley, dated December 17, 2024, warned Mayor Karen Bass about the repercussions of recent budget cuts. According to the letter, the $17 million reduction in the department's budget had severely limited the department's capacity to prepare for, train for, and respond to large-scale emergencies, including wildfires. This warning highlights the critical role that sufficient funding plays in maintaining readiness for natural disasters and other emergencies. The letter raises important questions about the impact of financial decisions on public safety, especially in a state like California, which is prone to wildfires.
Well, those burgers will be well done.
This is the actual footage
today
of the firefighting plane, the C-415, also called Super Scooper. It has a big advantage compared to the other tankers since it does not have to land on airports stationed far away. The operation of the CL-415 begins with the aircraft's approach to a water source. The pilot skillfully maneuvers the plane toward a suitable body of water, such as a lake or river, ensuring that the location meets the necessary criteria for safety and efficiency. The approach requires careful navigation to align the aircraft with the water surface, taking into account factors like wind direction, water depth, and surrounding terrain. Once aligned, the aircraft initiates the water scooping process. A specialized scoop integrated into the plane's underbelly is lowered onto the water surface as the aircraft glides across it. This precise action allows the scoop to collect a significant volume of water, filling the internal tank within seconds. The process is carefully monitored to ensure the tank is filled to its optimal capacity without compromising the aircraft's balance or performance. With the water tank filled, the pilot retracts the scoop and skillfully ascends, transitioning the aircraft into departure mode. The CL-415 then heads directly toward the fire, navigating challenging conditions such as thick smoke, high temperatures, and potentially turbulent air. The journey demands precise coordination and constant communication with ground crews to identify the most effective drop zone. As the aircraft approaches the target area, the water drop is executed. The pilot releases the water from the tank in a controlled manner, ensuring it directly targets the flames or the surrounding areas to suppress and contain the fire. The timing and accuracy of the drop are critical as they maximize the effectiveness of the operation while minimizing the risk of surrounding environments. Following the drop, the aircraft returns to the designated water source to repeat the process. This cycle of scooping, departing, and dropping continues as needed, showcasing the CL-415's efficiency and reliability in aerial firefighting. The entire operation is a testament to the aircraft's specialized design and the expertise of its crew, working tirelessly to combat fires and protect communities. We make original videos from scratch, so please do subscribe and hit the notification bell for
That's
more
AI
videos.
Telly. Subscribe. I'll leave the link. So that's the heart of hell. Wow. Pretty intense. We've lost volume, but you don't need to see. You don't need to hear to see. Yep, that's a lot of fire. That's a lot of smoke.
Living idiot that I believe he is, in the way he has handled fire management in this state again and again and again and again. This isn't a wake-up call. This is the kind of thing they have tribunals for.
We talking about taking them to court, going before a judge, slamming the book.
I mean, we have a mayor who cut the budget of the fire department in California.
Get rid of them. Get out of California.
$17 million.
Forget
Fire
about
is
it.
the biggest hazard in Los Angeles. Why would you cut that budget?
Oh, she still has it. I was wondering who she was. Yep, that's that Everybody Loves Raymond movie. Wasn't a fan of the show, though.
2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything.
Goes Mel.
On top of that, they cut
Mr.
the
Gibson.
water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad. It's like the place is just on fire.
Well, the whole state is just so poorly managed. It's so frustrating and confusing. And then he gets on TV and pretends like everything's great.
Mm-hmm.
And
They got the poop sections.
We have the best state. We have the most amazing economy.
You got the poop
You're out of your
sections there.
fucking mind, dude. You've ruined this state. Personally ruined it.
Nah, I think the people ruined it, though. That's the people ruined it. No matter what he does, the people make stuff how it is too.
Have you nothing to say today?
They want those liberal mayors.
Absolutely nothing to say to
You're
the
gonna get
citizens
them
today.
those liberal lifestyles.
Elon Musk says that you're
Liberal
utterly incompetent. Are you
drawbacks to
considering
life.
your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster?
All the way from Ireland, this disaster. That's Sarah Michelle Gellar. She doesn't even look the same. She has some chunkiness to her. That looks like a whole nother woman. You can complain all you want. Get out of there. Just leave. Pack up and go. Why would you want to be in California anyhow?
Hey guys,
with the earthquakes and the day when that all goes into the ocean?
Cloud. This camera does not even do it justice. It literally looks like hell has taken over. It's so big, it's so red.
What are we talking about?
My thoughts and prayers are with everyone tonight. I'm really
That's good though. Yeah. I'll, in Jesus' name, pray. I I tell you, this is like God punishing that state, the rich and the famous.
No pun intended. All right, as the president throws it to the vice president.
Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
Oh, this sounds planned. That's a conspiracy theory right there. Why is there no water in the fire hydrants and this fire comes around?
I would fill them up personally, you know that. I would fill up the hydrants myself.
It's just crazy. But they brought him in. They let him in. That's their man. They voted that guy in. That's what happens when you got votes that are.
Well, it's very sad because I'm trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish.
Sanctuary cities that vote in these liberals.
Called the smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water.
And with the liberals, this is what you get.
Hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. And we're going to get that done. It's going to finally be done. I got it done from the federal side, and he didn't want to sign it, but it's not going to happen again like that.
People are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives. Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't. I stood next to a president.
He wants to say, "Make America great again." That's what he wants to say.
Live look over the Pacific Palisades in California. This is a look from our Fox 11 LA team as Sky Fox is flying nearby.
Bigfoot's home.
This is just one of the many images that we do have, and I want to get you
I'm not
to
trying
the
to laugh
latest
about the people
details.
losing
Again,
their homes.
all of this coming in from Cal Fire, as at least 11 people have died, and thousands of structures have been burned as those wildfires spread across the LA area over just the past several days. A massive flare-up of the Palisades fire erupted hours ago, forcing a new round of mandatory evacuations. As we mentioned, that is for Brentwood and Encino, California, shutting down some of the major roads. Now, if you're not necessarily from California or the LA area, you have probably heard of the 405 freeway. That does have portions that are closed near Bel Air and Westwood. 5 deaths confirmed from the Palisades fire, which broke out Tuesday and has burned through more than 21,000 acres in and around the Pacific Palisades.
Other news, Austin,
also important to note that as of right now, at 6 a.m. Pacific time, that curfew has officially been lifted by the LA County Sheriff's Department. Not clear just yet, though, if that will be in effect again later on tonight. We'll keep you updated there as we do get more details coming in from officials. In the meantime, I want to talk more about the weather pattern there, the winds, everything that kind of played a role in these fires here. So let's bring in Todd Hall, senior meteorologist at the National Weather Service over in Los Angeles. Good morning, and thank you so much for being here. I know you are very, very busy, so we definitely appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Good morning, and thank you for having us on.
Of course. Well, first off, I do just want to ask you overall how the forecast is looking for the Los Angeles area and how that could factor into the winds and the fires.
So in general, we're expecting another round of Santa Ana winds developing today through tonight and into Sunday morning. So that's going to bring in potentially another round of critical fire weather conditions across the Los Angeles basin. And that's going to not make it much easier for firefighters to do their job. So we're looking at the potential for very dry conditions and very windy conditions continuing on these fires, which kind of exacerbates what's already in place.
And when I ask you here, you touched on this, but what is needed weather-wise to fuel these fires? Is it just those incredibly gusty winds, or is there maybe more to it?
There's actually 3 components to that. So you need the winds, you need the dry conditions, and then you need the dry vegetation. As far as the downtown Los Angeles area, we've actually received less than a quarter inch of rain since May, and so we have very dry vegetation already in place, and now we're throwing on top of that warmer than normal and dry conditions with gusty winds, potentially between between 45 and 65 miles per hour this afternoon through Sunday morning.
And you talked about the dry conditions. Is California, this area specifically, officially in a drought?
Well, the governor of California actually makes that call to declare if California is in a drought or not. We've definitely had a very dry weather pattern in place for the past 8 months. So that is very concerning for our fire partners that we work very closely with across Southern California. And that's why last week, we issued a particular dangerous situation for our red flag warning, because we have very dry fuels in place, very little rain. And then last Tuesday and Wednesday, or earlier this week, Tuesday and Wednesday, we had winds in excess of 60 to 80 miles per hour on top of these fires.
When you look at these fires a little bit further, the question that a lot of people have asked is this wildfire season? And I don't know if you can really speak to this, but is this when you would normally see wildfires kind of breaking out in places like California and surrounding areas? Or is this something, I don't know if you would say, unheard of? Is it different?
I'm a native Californian, so pretty much I always look at fire season can happen any time of the year due to growing up here. But normally our fire seasons typically run from about anywhere between May to October, and sometimes even into December. We've had some rare instances where the fire season has gone into January. So if you go back to 2007 and 2008, that year we actually ran our fire season into January. So what is a little abnormal is having the amount of strong Santa Ana winds that we've had within the past week or so. So this is kind of an abnormal type pattern, but typically Santa Ana winds, they peak between December and January. That's when we typically have our strongest events. But because we normally have rain by January, we typically have a little more moisture in our vegetation to deal with these Santa Ana winds.
And we're taking a look once again from Skyfox in LA. This is our Fox 11 LA team. You can see one angle of a fire burning right there. We also have this image coming in, I believe, from the Associated Press that shows a different angle. What goes through your mind? You mentioned you are a native Californian. What goes through your mind as you're kind of watching this?
Going into the eye of the fire.
It's heartbreaking. I mean, as far as all of us here working at the National Weather Service, we take this pretty serious as far as doing a public service, and this is our community too, and we are all affected by this tragedy that's taking place, and there's a lot of iconic businesses and homes that have been destroyed in these fires. So we take it to heart, and our hearts go out to all the residents that have lost loved ones, lost their homes and businesses with this. In addition to our thoughts are all with those that are fighting those fires, are the emergency services community that's actually responding to these fires.
How does all of this, and this is something that comes to mind when I think about something like this, and maybe a lot of people think about it, maybe they don't, but how does this impact the air quality? Because maybe people who aren't necessarily in danger of having, let's say, their home burn, their business burn, they're still likely, if they are in the area, to be impacted possibly by the air quality, right?
That is correct. We work very closely with our air quality partners here in Southern California, and in this area, South Coast Air Quality Management District manages the air quality. But as far as they've relayed a lot of their smoke advisories through our air quality alerts over the last several days. And so we've seen air quality index values in excess of 300 and 400 with these wildfires. So that's very unhealthy air quality that we're seeing across the Los Angeles basin.
And Todd, what message do you have for maybe people who are watching us right now from that specific area? Obviously, you are over in the Los Angeles area, but what message do you want to get across to people maybe who are in the evacuation zone and say, you know what, we get wildfires, it is what it is. what information do you want to get across to them?
The state of California puts out, and CAL FIRE put out the Ready Set Go program, and you spend a good portion of your spring getting ready for the fire season to develop. And so the Ready Set Go program is you should be in the set stage and be ready to evacuate should something happen, having your paperwork together, have a lot of your belongings ready to go if you live in wildfire prone areas. So it's really important that you heed the advice and warnings of people telling you to get out. This is very important to us. We're trying to save your life, and also that you delaying getting out also delays firefighter personnel getting to other people's homes in your home.
There goes those drones.
They have to take time
there goes them
to
orbs
help
and the drones.
you and help you
could be
evacuate.
Orb, that could be a drone.
Or convince
That's
you
still
to
going
evacuate.
on right now,
So,
ladies and gentlemen.
I just want to make sure that people just listen to authorities and follow the directions and please leave when you're asked to do so.
Never mind.
All right, Todd Hall there with the National Weather Service over in Los Angeles. Thank you so much. I know you're busy, so I definitely appreciate you taking the time to be here. Is there anything else that you want to add before I let you go?
No, not really. I mean, I just really want to reiterate to a lot of this is a kind of unprecedented because some of these areas haven't burned since the 1930s. From what we're seeing as far as so a lot of this vegetation has not burned for a long time in some of these fires.
So what does that mean?
We're seeing a lot of this is like the activity we're seeing this morning is really, there isn't much wind on it currently on these fires, but it's burning in vegetation that hasn't burned for a long time. So, and we have very steep terrain in Southern California. So we're one of the few places in the United States that goes from sea level to 10,000 feet, all within about a 30-mile stretch. So we have very complex terrain, and that's something that really adds a different component to fighting these fires.
So is that good
and
or
it's
bad?
It's a hard work for a lot of these firefighter personnel working on these fires.
All right. Todd, thank you again for taking the time to be here with us. We definitely appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Well, there you have it. The California fires. That last video, I know it was dragging. I know it was a snoozer. But hopefully you learned something. The first video was really good. And you all know this. That was very informative, and especially on how the fires are spreading. And then the second video being about showing from a first-person perspective what it's looking like at night as those flames are fanning and homes are being engulfed in it. And then, of course, the third video, which was the celebrities' take on what's going on right now in California. But, they got the money. They can leave. They can just pack up and go, right? I mean, what are they sticking around for? Hollywood's dead. Everything is moving to AI. If you were to watch Jamie Kennedy, if you were to watch any of the clips that Jamie Kennedy's been coming out with, and if you don't know who Jamie Kennedy is, well, I mean, he's from the movie Scream, Malibu's Most Wanted. Look, he might be a B actor, but there was a time when he did some A movies. Having said that, he did a video where he talks about he converses with somebody else who's got the inside scoop on what's new today in Hollywood, and a lot of those studios, they're dead. They're ghost towns. Everything's being moved elsewhere. So much is going to AI. So having said that, these celebrities, these people that have the money that can leave, hey, pack up and go then. Why would you want to be in California anyhow? From what I've been told, I should do videos about the whole little poop sections that I've heard about and that I've vaguely seen clips of, because I'm really not searching for that stuff. And yet it's there, just like the poop. It's there. You may step in it. Having said that, everybody have a good night. Remember, I'm live on Twitch. I'm live on Twitch today, but typically I'm live on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. But also, I've got my Rumble channel. I have Spotify. I'm on Spotify. Joe Rogan's on Spotify. Come on now. Like, subscribe, And with that said, Lord willing, we'll be back here tomorrow. Good night.
So goodbye for us. You have to say it, baby. And us in Texas, you wanna try, baby. I know you can, I know your heart, and you will figure